Okay, so imagine for a second that you are the sole god of a very small, very fragile universe.
Uh-huh.
It's a glass box, maybe 30 gallons of water, sitting right in your living room. And inside that box, you control everything. The weather, the heater, you control the food supply, the population.
It sounds like a real power trip, but anyone who's actually tried it knows it's mostly just anxiety management.
Right, because if you change one tiny variable, you feed them 5 minutes late,
Yeah.
or the temperature drops 2 degrees, the whole ecosystem can just
A
crash.
chaos theory in a box.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And today, for our deep dive, we are zooming in on exactly that kind of high-stakes management. We're looking at a home aquarium on Monday, January 26, 2026.
And we aren't seeing this through the eyes of a marine biologist. We are seeing it through the eyes of a man who calls himself an old software plumber.
That title stuck with me immediately. Software plumber, not software architect or, tech guru. It feels gritty.
It is gritty, and it's actually crucial to understanding everything we're going to talk about. In the tech world, the plumber is the one deep in the back end.
Right.
They aren't building the pretty buttons you click on. They're making sure data flows through the pipes without leaking. They deal with the mess. They fix the bugs.
And today, the system that's crashing is a tank full of cichlids. We're diving into a blog post from qianmeng.org. It's titled Notes on Fishkeeping, Part 180, Relocating the Female Polar Parrot Cichlid.
Part 180, just let that number sink in for a second. This is not a casual update. This is a long-term study.
It really hints at the scale, doesn't it? This isn't just, I bought a fish. This is, I am debugging nature. So let's look at the logs. What's the status of the tank on January 26?
Well, Ang, the author, he starts with what looks like a success metric. He opens the update by focusing on the next generation. He's observing a batch of juvenile polar parrot cichlids.
The babies.
Yeah.
And at first, this sounds like a total win. He talks about them eating these tiny fish pellets at the surface.
Right. And he specifically notes their physical state. He points out that their bellies have become noticeably rounder.
Okay, usually when someone tells me my belly is getting rounder, I take it as an insult. But in the fish world, I'm assuming this is a good KPI, a key performance indicator.
It's the most important KPI for juveniles. A sunken belly means starvation or, parasites. A round belly means the input. The food is being successfully processed into output growth. The system is working.
So we've got happy, chubby babies swimming at the surface. Sounds like a peaceful morning, but I'm guessing the peace doesn't last.
It doesn't even last to the end of the paragraph. This is where that software plumber mindset really kicks in. A normal pet owner might just say, look, they're so cute.
Yeah.
But Ang immediately pivots to skepticism. He writes, I'm still uncertain how many will ultimately survive and grow to adulthood.
Wow, that feels a little cold. Look at the cute babies. Don't start calculating their mortality rate right away.
Is it cold or is it just realistic? In software, just because the code runs once doesn't mean it's stable. He's looking at these juveniles as like instances of a program. They're running okay right now, but he knows the environment is volatile. He's refusing to mark the ticket as resolved just because they ate breakfast.
So he's managing expectations. He knows the attrition rate.
Exactly. And frankly, he doesn't really have time to celebrate the babies because there's a critical error happening somewhere else in the tank. The camera sort of pans down from the surface, and we see a domestic disaster.
The parents.
The parents. The male polar parrot cichlid is attacking the female. And it's not just a little nip here and there. It's bad. He describes her being forced to hide at the edges of the aquarium.
Okay, help me out here. I thought cichlids were supposed to be these intelligent social fish. Why is he beating her up? Is he just a bully?
It's so easy to anthropomorphize and say he's being mean, but we have to look at the biology. Cichlids are notorious for this. They are highly territorial and aggressive, especially when it comes to breeding.
So this is a lover's quarrel.
It's more like a biological mismatch. The author diagnoses the root cause immediately. He says the male is overly eager. He's in courtship mode. He wants to spawn.
He's ready to go.
He is hitting the execute program reproduction button over and over and over. But the female, she just isn't responding.
Why not? Is she not interested?
She physically can't be. And this is where Ang's obsession with observation just pays off. Remember how he noted the round bellies of the babies?
Yeah.
Well, he looks at the female and notes she has a thin belly.
A thin belly. So that's data.
It's a status indicator. In this species, a female who is ready to spawn will be plump with eggs. A thin belly means she's depleted. She literally does not have the resources to reproduce right now.
So the male is demanding an output that the system cannot provide.
Precisely. It's a resource allocation error. The male is trying to force a transaction, and the female is basically returning a 404 error.
Page not found.
Yeah, and in the wild, she would just swim away. She'd go to a different part of the river until she recovered.
But she's in a glass box.
She's in a glass box. There's no away. So that courtship energy, when it hits a wall like that, it turns into aggression. He chases her because she won't comply, and she has nowhere to go.
That's terrifying. It's a closed-loop system just spiraling out of control. So if you're the software plumber and you see this bugger pug, what do? You can't just rewrite their code.
You have to patch the environment. And we see his troubleshooting process happen in real time. He actually considers a plan A first.
Which was what?
He thought about moving the juveniles, the babies, to a new pond.
A pond, like in his garden.
He keeps saying pond. It likely refers to a large tub or some kind of container setup he maintains. We know from his other notes he does these outdoor container ponds.
Okay, so plan A is evacuate the kids.
Right. Maybe to clear some space or just to save them if the parents get too violent. But then he stops. He runs the simulation in his head and realizes, no, that doesn't fix the bug.
Because the bug isn't overcrowding. The bug is the male attacking the female. Moving the kids won't stop that.
Exactly. The male doesn't care about space. He cares about spawning. So Aang pivots. He decides he has to separate the conflict directly. He's got to relocate the female.
Okay, so he's moving the victim to a safe house. But where? Does he have a spare tank just sitting around for this kind of thing?
He does, but it's not empty. And this is where the story gets really interesting. He decides to move the female Polar Parrot Cichlids into an adjacent tank. But that tank is already occupied by a female Zebra Cichlid.
Wait, a Zebra Cichlid? That's a completely different species, isn't it?
It is. They're related, both cichlids, but they're distinct. And for anyone listening who keeps fish, your alarm bells should be ringing right now.
Why? Is that a dangerous move?
Cichlids are, they can be xenophobic. They generally hate anything that looks like them that isn't quite them. Putting a stressed, injured fish in with an established fish of another species, it sounds like jumping out of the frying pan and into the fire.
So he's trading a domestic abuser for a territorial stranger.
Wait.
It's a gamble.
That's exactly the calculation he's making. He's betting that the interspecies aggression will be less than the mating aggression. He's betting on curiosity.
And did it work?
It did. The result is really the highlight of the whole log entry. He reports that there is no aggression. And he uses this lovely phrase to describe their interaction. Mutual curiosity.
Mutual curiosity. That's surprisingly sweet.
It is. Instead of fighting, they're just checking each other out. And if you think about it, it works because the Zebra Cichlid isn't trying to mate with her.
Right. That pressure is gone.
The biological pressure is completely removed, and since they're both females of different species, the territorial drive is probably lower. He successfully removed the one variable that was causing the entire system to crash.
He debugged it. He identified the conflict mating pressure and moved the component to a server where that pressure just didn't exist.
System stable. Ticket closed.
But the ticket isn't just closed in his head, right? He wrote it all down. And I want to shift gears here because while the fish drama is fascinating, the meta-drama of this guy's blog is what really blew my mind.
You mean the sheer volume of it?
The volume is absolutely staggering. We said this was part 180 of his Fishkeeping notes, but I clicked around the sidebar of his site and wow.
It's a rabbit hole, isn't it?
It's an encyclopedia. Notes on Gardening, part 788.
788.
Notes on Photography, part 226. Notes on Haskell Programming, part 41.
Yeah.
Notes on Dieting, part 114. And get this. In January 2026 alone, just 1 month, he posted 78 times.
Wait, 78 in a 31-day month.
That's almost 3 posts a day. Every single day.
That's intense. That goes way beyond hobby and into something else.
But what is it? Is it obsession? Boredom? Why write down that your fish has a thin belly or that you planted a specific seed 3 times a day for over a decade?
I don't think it's boredom. I think it comes right back to that software plumber identity and specifically his interest in floss-free and open source software.
Okay, unpack that connection for me. How does open source software relate to counting fish pellets?
Well, the core philosophy of open source is transparency and documentation. If you fix a bug in the code, but you don't document how you fixed it, you haven't really contributed anything.
You've just put a secret Band-Aid on it, so if it happens again, nobody knows what to do.
Exactly. In the software world, an undocumented solution is useless. Aang is applying that same rigor to his own life. When he writes Part 180, Relocating the female, that is a commit message.
The commit message.
Yeah, in coding, when you save a change to the code, you write a short message explaining what you changed and why. That's what this blog post is. Issue, aggression, root cause, mating mismatch, action, relocated to zebra tank, outcome, success. He is building a searchable database of his own existence.
That is fascinating. So he's not really writing for an audience? I mean, I doubt he thinks millions are dying to know about the Zebra Cichlid.
No, I think he's writing for future Ang.
Future Ang.
Think about it. 5 years from now, he might have another aggressive male cichlid. Instead of panicking, he can just search his own archives. He'll find part 180 and say, right, the zebra tank strategy, that worked in 2026. Let's try that again.
He's outsourcing his memory to his own server.
Yes. It's an external hard drive for his brain. And when you look at the gardening notes, part 788, My Encounter with the Unexpected, it's the same thing. He's logging anomalies so he can learn from them.
It really challenges how we usually handle problems, doesn't it? I mean,
Right.
when I have a problem, my car makes a weird noise or my plants die, I get annoyed, I fix it, and I forget about it. And then a year later,
The plant dies again
and I have no idea why.
because you didn't log the ticket. You didn't debug the system. You just reacted to the symptom. Ang's method suggests that if you want to actually solve problems in code, in a fish tank, in your diet, you have to treat this data. You have to write them down.
It takes the emotion out of it, too. That's what I noticed. He wasn't angry at the male fish. He didn't call them a bad fish or a jerk.
Yeah. That's a huge insight. If you view the aggression as a moral failing, you get emotional. You yell at the tank. But if you view it as a system error, reproductive cycle mismatch, you can find a logical solution. You can't reason with a jerk, but you can patch a system error.
It's the difference between drama and engineering.
Perfectly put. He turned a domestic tragedy into an engineering challenge.
I also love how his interests cross-pollinate. You see him writing about, type errors in Python. In the same month, he's writing about fish behavior. Do you think those skills transfer?
Oh, absolutely. Debugging is a universal skill. It's the art of noticing things. You have to spot the one line of code that's wrong among thousands, or the one fish with a thin belly hiding among the rocks.
It's about presence. You can't write 78 blog posts a month if you aren't paying attention.
You really can't. You have to be watching your world with a microscope. Most of us just walk through life on autopilot. Ang is checking the gauges constantly.
So, we've relocated the female. She's safe with her zebra friend. The babies are eating. The logs are updated. What's the takeaway here for someone who doesn't even own a fish tank?
I think the takeaway is about the value of that plumber mindset. We tend to glamorize the architects, the people with the big visionary ideas, but the plumbers, they're the ones who keep things alive.
The ones who notice the leak before the pipe bursts.
Right. And it's a reminder that being well-informed doesn't just mean knowing the latest global news. Sometimes it means knowing exactly what is happening in your own living room. It means noticing the thin belly of your partner or your pet or your own mental state before the crisis hits.
And maybe writing it down.
Writing it down changes everything. It turns a fleeting feeling into a data point. And once you have data, you can spot patterns.
I'm feeling a little convicted here. I struggle to journal once a week. The idea of logging my life like a software update is intimidating.
It is high friction, for sure. But look at the result. He has a user manual for his own life. If he wants to know what he ate or what he coded or how his garden grew in January 2026, he has the source code. Most of us just have a hazy memory.
That's so true. We lose so much data just by forgetting.
We do, and in a way, that's what makes his blog so beautiful. It's a refusal to let the small details, the tiny fish pellets, the curiosity of a zebra cichlid, just vanish into the past. He saves them.
He captures the state of the world.
One commit at a time.
So here's a thought to leave you with today. We've been talking about this software plumber who solves problems by treating them like tickets in a system. Aggression in tank isn't a drama. It's a bug to be logged and fixed. Think about the recurring problems in your own life. The argument you keep having, the clutter on your desk that keeps coming back, the habit you can't seem to kick.
The bugs in your personal system.
Exactly. If you stopped treating them as personal failings and started treating them like a support ticket, observing the variables, logging the data, testing a patch, would you have solved them by now? Maybe the solution isn't just more willpower. Maybe it's just better documentation.
That is a question worth asking.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you next time.